by the Republic of Reclamento. The fourth issue consists whether or not members of the said community can be allowed to be married as per the rituals of their respective religion. I will be dealing with the first two issues, and my co-counsel will be arguing on the third and fourth issues. The
Yeah.
first issue, whether or not the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. Okay. It is humbly submitted before the Honorable Court that Section 5 of the Hindu Marriage Act provides marriage between any two Hindus. Your Lordship, here two Hindus can be read in a way to include LGBTQIA plus community. Your Lordship, further, the Council submits that Hindu Marriage Act has been drafted in a way to include LGBTQIA plus community, and not including them would be the violation of their fundamental rights. The council would now be arguing on the interpretation of provisions of Special Marriage Act. Your Lordship, the impunged provision herein, Section 4, 5, and Schedule number 2 to 4 of the Special Marriage Act 1954 restrict the process of application, solemnization, and registration of marriages under the Act of 1954 to all heterosexual couples alone and exclude homosexual couples like that of the petitioner from its ambit. The impunged provisions has been interpreted in favor of heterosexual couples only because of the usage or constructions like widow widower, male female, and bride bridegroom. This is an exclusion of homosexual couples from the ambit of the act. The
Now,
petitioners
counsel, now,
plead
one
that
sec.
such exclusions. Yes,
Counsel,
sir.
just let me ask you a fundamental question. Now, you may have a point. The Hindu Marriage Act should provide for same-sex couples, etc. But is it the job of the court, or is it for the legislature to amend the statute and bring it within the domain? Is it for the court to legislate and say that now on Hindu Marriage Act will be like this?
The legislature has to announce about all this because this is a larger issue and it has to be included in the act, which cannot be done by the jurisdiction. But so there has to be a start to it, like section 377 when that was decriminalized. That was the start to it, and now
No, just
slowly we need to
no,
progress
no.
as.
Just one
Okay.
sec.
Yes.
377 is slightly different. 377 writ petition was filed challenging the vires of the section on the ground that that section is violative of fundamental right of the Constitution. While hearing that case, the Supreme Court struck down, saying that it is so what it's supposed to do. What us to do is you want us to legislate. You want us to say because of henceforth Hindu Marriage Act will include same-sex couples. How that is slightly different from what the court did in 377. How can the court legislate again?
So the court has the right to give their judgments in the favor of the petitioner, which will help them to further undergo and start the process by starting the process for the legislation purposes. So am I audible to you? My internet connection is not very proper.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so the legislation, I agree with you completely, my lordship, that the legislature has the right to amend them and include them as the member of the Hindu Marriage Act and the Special Marriage Act. But the provisions are to be and supposed to be sent and passed by the court, for which we are right now asking them to get the normal basic civil rights, the rights to get married under their own religions, and to get the exhaustive code. Then that is the procedure which will lead to the legislature.
No. Just hold on for a second. Let's not jump the issue. Now, the question is simple, right? Now, now the basis, the reason why you have filed this case is because of the section 377. Before that, it was executed under criminal law when 377 was in the statute, right? At that time, you could not have asked for this relief. Now, because the court has struck down 377 as unconstitutional, you are coming to court and saying, as a natural corollary to that, please allow us. Are you there or are you frozen? Yeah.
I cannot hear you, sorry.
Yeah, I think you have to move to a better connection. I think because all of our
Just a
connections are.
second, sir. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for the
No,
inconvenience.
no issue, no issue. Don't worry about the time. I'll take this into account while calculating
Thank you,
the
sir.
time. Yeah, don't worry.
I'm so sorry, sir, for the inconvenience.
No problem. Don't worry. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so section 3, you are coming to court asking for this thing. You should be allowed to marry. You should be allowed to have property rights, etc. Maybe a valid argument. My simple question to you is it our job as the court, or is it the job of the legislature to do this? Can the court pass such sweeping policy, sweeping changes to personal law by way of a judgment?
No, sir, it is not. The legislation is supposed to pass this huge act, judgment.
No, if you agree with that, then what is your case?
So actually, I like to add something to that. That
Yeah.
CGI Mishra and the Navjeet Singh Supra opined that it is. Can I quote him? Like it's a bit
No, you
long.
tell me what is. Don't need to read the entire thing.
Basically, he tells that this is not right, and according to the, if we identify it by the constitutional spectrum, it cannot be hold singularly to one's orientation, and the feelings can develop and change. So right now we as the petitioner are asking to like include us as normal human and give us the basic civil rights which are to be accept, which are given to each and every human and citizens of India, and not any particular community or anything which is supposed to be given by the court.
So that means as a court, I have to say that wherever wife is used, it has to be person. Wherever bridegroom is used, it has to be a gender neutral term. So in effect, sitting here, I am doing what Parliament is supposed to do. I'm supposed to amend the act, sitting as a court. I'm again asking
No, sir.
where is the legal?
No, my lordship.
Yes.
The two Hindu terms which is used in the start of the section basically means any two people, but in the ancient, these laws are all ancient and stereotypical, which are written in the old 1950s, right? So they were amended according to the relevance of that time, male, female, widow, or bride or bridegroom. It does not specify with whom. It just means there should be a bride. The ages are also specified, the bride being 18 years and the bridegroom being 21 years, but nowhere is it specified that they should be together with each other. Any two Hindus is what matters.
Okay, fair enough. Carry on.
Okay. In the Honorable Supreme Court, the Navjeet Singh Johar versus the Union of India, and to be treated with dignity for that identification, no matter the person, how the person self-determines one's own identity. The identity is to be protected and recognized by the law equally without discrimination. Any law that fails in its duty to protect one's self-determination of sexual identity and treat that and thus is considered irrational and manifestly arbitrary, violating Article 14 of the Constitution of India. The
No,
provisions and the
one
special.
second. Don't, you know, you go at your own speed. I'm not in any hurry. Huh? So relax. You don't worry about the time. Huh? Now, have you aware of the judgment of Bombay High Court in state of Bombay versus Narsu Appa Mali?
Yes, sir.
What does the judgment say?
No personal case are supposed to be entered here.
No.
Personal laws are supposed to be entered.
No. To be more precise, what does it say? Tell me in one bullet point. What is the judgment? What is the ratio of that case? You're right. You're on the right track. Just tell me. It basically says that personal laws cannot be tested on the yardstick of fundamental rights, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now what you are saying is under the Hindu Marriage Act, etc., not giving adequate, not giving recognition to same-sex couples, marriage rights, proper adoption, etc., etc., that is violative of fundamental rights. That is your, in effect, that is your point, right? Now,
Yes.
when Narsu Appa Mali, on the other hand, says, and that still holds the law, holds the field, Narsu Appa Mali, even after so many years. Now, Narsu Appa Mali says personal laws cannot be tested on the anvil of fundamental rights. So, how do we get over that?
A single person, but your community stands to behold and get all the freedoms and rights which it should get from the very first place. We are depriving them of this right since a very long time.
Okay. That is an argument on what is the argument on law. I'm asking you now. You see what you are saying is in the only point you have made till now is it is very unfair, etc. Maybe it's on a question of law. How can you claim that right as a matter of law?
So under Act, I agree with the Narsupula case, but under 14, Article 14 and Article 15, even in Menka Gandhi case, it was said that everything, I'll quote her, that it was clearly passed that India may not have adopted the American concept of due process of law. Nevertheless, the procedure established by the law should be fair and just, reasonable, and not be arbitrary.
Okay. How are you applying it in our case?
So the way LGBTQI community is treated right now, they are given 377 has been struck down, which gives them the right to be together and have unnatural sex and intercourse, but they are not given any fundamental rights as such to celebrate their living as getting married or having a child, adopting, surrogacy, or inheriting a property together. They are not given fair, just, reasonable, or an arbitrary right.
Okay, carry on.
Sexually targeted and deprived of the freedom to be rightfully members of the society they belong to. I'll go to the second one. My second issue deals with whether or not civil rights can be granted to the members of the community. It is humbly submitted before the Honorable Court that Section 377 offends the guarantee of equality enshrined in Article 14 under the Fundamental Right to Equality Charter of Constitution because it creates an unreasonable classification and targets homosexual as a class. Public animus and disgust towards a particular social group or vulnerable minority, it held, is not a valid ground for classification towards a particular social group under Article 14. Article 15 of the Constitution forbids discrimination based on certain characteristics and includes not only biological sex but also sexual orientation and therefore this Article 15. The right to life under Article 21 includes the right to health and concluded that Section 377 is independent to also public health.
See, but the problem again is this. Now, all this marriage, the discrimination you are talking about is not allowing the two men or two women to marry. For example, in a, now that again, my question to you, the rest that Hindu and a Christian cannot marry, right? The same way, all these are under personal laws. Now, can personal laws under the present law, can the personal laws be tested on the anvil of fundamental rights like a normal law? Now, in a normal tender, you can say Article 14, etc. For a personal law, something like a marriage, something like an adoption, etc., rights apply or no? It's a question. I'm asking you whether it applies or doesn't apply.
In my
Etc. One second. What happened? What happened, Kushala? It's you okay. You are locked out.
No, so my network couldn't work properly. So suddenly I backed out.
No problem. No problem. Yeah,
Thank you,
continue.
sir.
Continue. No problem.
Yeah,
Tell me.
in the Mehta
ask me.
versus the Union
Yeah,
of
tell
India,
me.
the judgment was
Does Maneka Gandhi say that in the realm of fundamental rights, uh, in context of personal laws, fundamental rights are
the Manupala case, but sir, your basic of right when not given honor to give arguments.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah, can start.
If I may continue from where my co-counsel, I will be dealing with the issues 3 and 4. Issue 3 states whether or not traditions, rituals, rites form an exhaustive code as contested by Republic of Sacramento. The LGBTQI community has been treated poorly since many ages. The rights of LGBTQI community have been violated and in most cases does not exist at all. It is also not surprising that they are not treated as humans. Rights exist for a reason, and the reason is not present for most of the time when the people belong to this community. Custom, rights, ritual, traditions have often mistreated the community. So it is abominable to say that these customs, traditions, rights, rituals form a detailed or a thorough study in the case of this community.
But counsel, one second. Now, see, in the context of personal laws, even under the Hindu marriage, etc., customs, tradition, rights, rituals, etc., are given importance, right? So, how do you get over that while making your argument? Yeah.
I couldn't hear you. You lagged for a second.
Sorry.
I couldn't hear you, sir.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is customs, traditions, etc., in the context of personal law stands on a higher footing, right? So how do you ignore that while making an argument like this?
Okay, so I would like to say that
Yes.
That customs and traditions were in the midst of people from generations to generations and from ancient times. But if the customs are morally wrong, they have to stop. If we take an example of Sati Abolition Act of 1829, Sati practice was also prevalent for a long time, and it also was a custom. But we know that this was, derogatory to women, and it did not give them right to life.
Council, one second. Now, the very example which you said, according to me, goes against you there for a long time. Ultimately, how did onwards no sati, or the legislature passed a law saying Sati Abolition Act? How did that custom come to an end? It came to an end by an act of legislature, not by a judgment of court. Is exactly what I was asking a co-counsel also. Is it for the court to decide what is morality, what is not morality, or it is the legislature to come and say, okay, now that in the context section 377, we are going to pass a law saying that from tomorrow, same-sex marriages are allowed. It's exactly what I'm asking. The Sati example goes against what you are trying to argue.
If I may, the thing is, Lordship, yes, I agree that the legislature has to pass a law in order, to include these people into Special Marriage Act or Hindu Marriage Act. But if we give them rights, the basic rights which you and I have, which all of us as a dignified human being have, then only these people, the legislature will acknowledge them, and then they will be included in the the act will be passed, the law will be passed in favor of them. So I'm just asking your lordship to acknowledge them as a dignified human right to choose a partner, and I don't I mean, it should not be made so,
Carry on.
so I was saying everyone has a right to choose a partner, and if this should not be discriminatory on the basis of their sex.
Court, I may be of the view that same-sex couples should be allowed count he or she out to get married. Now it becomes highly individualistic. Whereas if a legislature
And not unreasonable or opposed to public policy. Providing reasons, the community was treated poorly and was condemned for the sexuality. Customs of this great nation against LGBTQI has been shaped influence of Indian Penal Code, which was taken from the Bagheri Act of 1533. It was an ancient law which was passed under the kingship of.
So now the only question is, what is the next step? So there's no reason for you to go back to 377 as a bad law. All of us agree.
Young people, most of the people that are of the traditional mindsets, and these traditional mindsets, as custom traditions are shaped, it was prevalent for a very long time. It becomes, people become homophobic. They don't really accept the idea of homosexuality, and they condemn.
These are not arguments on law, council. These are arguments in a seminar. All of us agree with all that, but I am asking you, nobody is saying that being homophobic is good, etc. The only question is, in law, whether court can say that from tomorrow these rituals, etc., are not exhaustive, and these LGBT communities can be allowed to marry, whether courts can say is the only issue, right? Carry on.
This now abolished section of 377 of IPC degraded the community. The court in the state of Kerala and another versus N.M. Thomas and others observed that Indian constitution is a great document, is a great social document, almost revolutionary in its aim of transforming a medieval hierarchical society into a modern egalitarian democracy, and its provisions can be comprehended only by spacious social science approach, not by pedantic traditional legalism. The whole idea of having a constitution is to guide the nation towards a resplendent future, and thus it is humbly submitted to the honorable court that the customs and usage do not form an exhaustive code as contested by Republic of Diplomatic. If your lordship is satisfied with the third issue, may I move on to the next one?
I may not be satisfied with the third issue, but you can move on to the next issue.
So if there are, your lordship, if there is,
No, forget it. You can go on to the next issue. We'll see. We'll come back if necessary. You can start with the fourth issue.
My fourth issue deals with whether or not members of the said community can be allowed to be married as per rituals of their respective religions. Members of the said community should be allowed to be married as per the rituals of their respective religion, because Article 25 of Constitution of India states freedom of concise and free profession, practice and propagation of religion with subjects to public order, morality and health. To the other provisions of this part, all persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience.
Now, let me ask you. Now, for example, under the Hindu Marriage Act, as you may be knowing, under the Hindu Marriage Act, for two Hindus to get married, right? There is no, you don't even valid marriage. That, what is it called? That in I'm from Kerala. In Kerala, we do that 3 rounds around the fire. Yeah, so 3 rounds around the fire. If you do that, then it's presumed that you're married. There is no need, registration, etc. is only a proof of marriage. Now that is a tradition that has been going on from time immemorial, right? Now that, of course, it will always happen between a man and a woman. Now, can court say that from tomorrow, a man and a man, a woman and a woman, if they do that Saptapadi 3 rounds around the fire, they husband and man and wife, husband and wife, is that to the court's function to do that? Can court enter in that domain? Isn't that
Article 25 of Constitution of India states freedom of conscience and free profession, practice and propagation of religion, subject to public order, morality and health, and to other provisions of this part. All persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and right freely to profess, practice and propagate religion, also providing for social welfare and reform, or throwing open the religious Hindu religious institution for a public character to all classes and sections of Hindus. The right being a fundamental right is present with the citizen from their birth, irrespective of gender, class, caste, race, place of birth, etc. Denial of institution of marriage to the community and refusal of law to recognize and accept homosexual marital unions is also violation of this right. To freedom of expression guaranteed by the Constitution under Article 19(1)(a), and thus, the community's right to express of love in the form that they aspire to conduct will be meaningless if their marital union is not recognized by law. Expressions of love, growth of one's personality within a relationship, and development of an identity of union will be incomplete if the law refuses to recognize same-sex relationships and marriages, and thereby it affects the right guaranteed by Article 19(1)(a) of Constitution. Right to companionship or a partner or otherwise put as right to family is a pre-existing natural law, right? Family is a basic building block of the society and is recognized in constitutions all over the world, also in India. The same can be traced in Article 91C's guarantee to citizens' right to form a union, and Article 21 rights to life guaranteed to any person. The LGBTQI community has the right to family life and right to personal freedom. As rightly put up in KS Puttaswamy versus Union of India, privacy includes at its core the preservation of personal intimacy, sanctity of family, marriage, procreation, home, and sexual orientation. The order also underlines the importance of personal choice governing the way of life, and to live is to live with dignity. Dignity and equality cannot be separated from each other, as equal access and choice lead to dignity, respect, and stature in a society. Thus, it is humbly submitted to Honorable Court that the community should be allowed to be married as per rites and rituals of their respective religions. On this note, I would like to conclude by saying it is high time that we understand that this community is one of us, and we should start including them as one of us and allow them of each and every right and privilege they rightfully own but have been denied for a very long period of time.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
My lordship, if I may add something to this,
No, now you have time. Is that?
I may
Yeah.
be having
Yeah.
30 seconds. It's just a
Yeah,
single thing.
Yeah, tell me.
When my co-counsel was giving her arguments, I just thought about what you asked me properly about the legislation part. Why I think court should be the one giving them the rights is because they do not want any anti-discrimination LGBTQ rights. They do not want to involve or make any new laws. They just want to be included in the laws which are already available and already in motion. So just for getting included, the court may suggest that yes, they can be included.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, now who's next?
May it please this honorable court, your lordships.
Yeah.
I'm the counsel for the respondent, and I shall be representing for the issue number 1 and 3, your lordships.
Yeah.
As your lordships are already well aware of the facts, I seek permission to directly move on to the arguments, your lordships.
Yes, absolutely.
Much obliged, your lordships. Your lordship, starting with issue 1, your lordship, it is whether or not the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 and the Special Marriage Act 1954 can be read in a manner to include members from the LGBTQ community. It is humbly submitted to your lordship that neither the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 or the Special Marriage Act 1954 can be read in a manner to include members of the LGBT community, your lordships. In this regard, it is submitted to your lordships that the institution of marriage between two individuals of same gender is neither recognized nor accepted in any uncodified personal law or any codified statutory law, your lordships. Further, the culture, customs, and traditions of a country, the Republic of Sacramento, do not recognize such type of marriage of same-sex, your lordships.
Let's stop there for a minute. Are we, who's going to decide what is the culture, morality? Are you going to decide? Am I going to decide? Now, the fact of the matter is when this law, 1955 law and the 1954 Special Marriage Act came into being, they could not have allowed same-sex marriage because there was already the same-sex union was criminalized, right? Something that is criminalized cannot be in the statute book by way of they can't allow. IPC cannot say, IPC at that time said that same-sex marriage is a criminal offense. Then personal laws, Hindu Marriage Act could not have said that same-sex marriage will be allowed. Now, the question is, now in the context of Section 377 having been decriminalized, whether while interpreting Hindu Marriage Act and Special Marriage Act, whether we should look at it in such a way so as to include members of the LGBT community also. Otherwise, like somebody pointed out, in Puttaswamy judgment, it is categorically said that privacy includes living with dignity. It also talks about same-sex couple. It also talks about issues like marriage, etc. Now, having 377 been struck down, should the courts be eyes closed and act as if nothing has changed, or whether court should be progressive and interpret without amending. Like I said, we can't amend, but whether the person mentioned in Hindu Marriage Act, they should be expanded to include a same-sex couple also. That is what you have to answer.
Your Lordship, it can be extended, but in such a way that the very purpose of the legislature should not be impacted, Your Lordship. In this regard, Your Lordship, I would like to mention few cases with Your Lordship's permission, Your Lordships.
Yes.
Your Lordships, in the case of Balwant Singh versus Jagdish Singh in 2010, TMI 204330, it was held that the provisions of statute, including every word, should be given full effect, keeping legislative intent in mind to ensure to achieve projected object. No provision is treatable as enacted purposelessly. Courts cannot give interpretation to provisions to render them ineffective or odious. Further, Your Lordship, in Kanailal Sur versus Paramnidhi Sadhu Khan, reported in AIR 1957, Supreme Court 907 held that it must always be borne in mind that the first and primary rule of construction is that the intention of legislature must be found in the words used by the legislature itself. If the words used are capable of one construction only, then it would not be open to the courts to adopt any other hypothetical construction on the ground that such hypothetical construction is more inconsistent with the alleged object and policy of the
I
Act.
understand, but Section 5 starts with a marriage may be solemnized between any two Hindus if the following conditions are fulfilled, right?
Yes.
Now, where does that say that it solemnized between any two Hindus, one of which is a male and other one is a female? It doesn't say that. So we can interpret it to mean
Your Lordship, in the entire Act terminology.
One sec. Hear the question first before you answer, right?
Yes,
you don't know what I'm going to ask, so there's no point answering without understanding the question. Now, when I say when the Act says two Hindus, right? Now it doesn't specify the gender of the two Hindus. No, I'm asking a question. You can correct me. You can answer this, but in that context, what your judgments you are citing on interpretation of statutes, etc., may not become relevant. How do you answer that?
I'm not clear, Your Lordships. Can you please repeat?
What I'm saying is Section 5 of the Hindu Marriage Act starts by saying a marriage may be solemnized between any two Hindus. It doesn't specify the gender of the two Hindus. So why can't the court interpret that two Hindus to mean same-sex Hindus?
Indeed, yes, Your Lordship. My answer to this question is that, Your Lordship, apart from that particular clause of the provision, Your Lordship, that is in accordance to a clause, Your Lordships. Keeping that apart, if we read the entire Act, Your Lordship, the very purpose, it can be seen that it's regarding a man, biological man and a biological woman, Your Lordships. Therefore, Your Lordships, while literally interpreting this, Your Lordships, it's considered to be a biological woman and a biological man only, Your Lordships.
Where do you say that? Show me some provisions. Which provision would be that?
Your Lordship, the maintenance provision, it's referred as him and his.
Okay.
Even for the marriage also, in like I think in Section 4, Clause C of the Hindu Marriage Act, Your Lordships, it is mentioned that the age for a bride is, for a woman it's like 18 years, and for a man it's 21 years, Your Lordships.
Correct.
Therefore, it's clearly specified, Your Lordships.
Correct. So it says bridegroom is 21, a bride is 18, right? Now that's fine. A bride, bride considered as a lady to woman. Suppose two women get married, 18 they get married, two men get married, 21 they can get married. Why can't we read it like that?
Not clear, Your Lordships.
So what I'm saying is when it says bride and bridegroom, right? Bride is 18, bridegroom is 21. Now, two men get married, 21 years is the age limit. Two women get married, 18 is the age limit. Why can't we read it like that?
Your Lordship, it is specifically mentioned that in the conditions of Hindu marriage itself, Your Lordships. If we give a thorough read of the enactment, Your Lordship, that is very clear, Your Lordships.
No, don't be general. Just tell me with reference to specific provisions. which you say the act gives that indication, which provision gives that indication?
Your Lordships, regarding the succession, the provisions concerning successions, the maintenance and all, it specifically mentioned as her for female and his for male. So this implies that it's between a biological man and a biological woman, and the homosexual people cannot be a part of that.
Anyway, carry on. See, whether same-sex couple, otherwise the act cannot refer to, the act can refer to a man as him and a woman as her, right? That doesn't give an indication that it excludes
So
same-sex
Lordships,
couple.
my answer to this is, if we include them in this act, your Lordship, the very purpose of the legislature will be lost, your Lordship. It not only deals with the rights, your Lordships, it includes several aspects, your Lordships. Hindu Marriage Act is a religious act, your Lordships. So that including this LGBT community into that, interpreting in such a way, including those community people, will definitely impact the very purpose of the legislature, your Lordships.
Carry on.
Much obliged, your Lordships. Therefore, your Lordships, at the time of enactment of the Act, your Lordship, the legislature had no intention to permit same-sex marriages, your Lordship. Further, the question as to whether such a relationship be permitted to be formalized by way of legal recognition of marriage is essentially a question to be decided by the legislature and can never be a subject matter of judicial adjudication. Further, your Lordship, there exists a legitimate state interest in limiting the legal recognition of marriage to persons of opposite sex. And
So
it is
just one sec. You said it's a court should never get into it. You aware of the Vishaka judgment of Supreme Court?
indeed, yes, your Lordship.
Right? There was no law with respect to sexual harassment at workplace, right?
Indeed,
Supreme Court found that there is a gap, and till the time legislature frames a law, Supreme Court laid down certain guidelines which will deal with sexual harassment at workplace, right? Like that, why can't the court say, okay, now 377 has been decriminalized, therefore same-sex couple can live together. So there is a gap. There is no law. So, see, two people are allowed to live together and have sexual relations, etc. The natural corollary is they should be allowed to be married, right? Now there is a gap. Now you're right. Ideally, the legislature should be the one who should be passing a law. But now the legislature has not passed any law. Why can't the court step in and say, till the time a proper law is framed, this will be allowed? Like
your Lordship, in the Vishaka case, the guidelines were passed by the apex court under the power of 227 of the Constitution, your Lordships. So it's a matter of
not 227. Supreme Court does not have 227. It is
okay. I apologize for that, your Lordship. Your Lordships, that was a matter of discretion of this honorable court, your Lordships. The honorable court found that there was a gap that has to be filled, and it passed guidelines in that regard, your Lordships. Coming to this issue, your Lordships, the honorable court has already legalized 377, your Lordships. That was a criminal offense, your Lordships. That was decriminalized, your Lordships. And this cannot be legally recognized, your Lordships. The simple reason is that, your Lordship, if this is recognized, this would result in the disintegration of the society in general, your Lordships.
My God, that is a very, very, very sweeping statement that you made. That if same-sex marriage is allowed, it will result in disintegration of the society. That is a very, very strong words to be used, right? Ultimately, the court has said same-sex relationship is permitted, right? So then nothing has happened. No society is disintegrated because of that judgment.
Your Lordship,
marriage is only one step further from that.
Your Lordship, it's a matter of your discretion, but allowing this particular same-sex marriages, different regions, your Lordships, for if I draw your attention to the consequences, your Lordships, if the guidelines are permitted in this case, your Lordships, the consequences would be, your Lordship, if we consider the Hindu marriage, your Lordship, it's a sacrament, your Lordship, a union of two souls. And for a Islamic religion, it's a contract, your Lordship. Whatever may be the marriage, The very purpose of it is procreation of children, your lordships.
Is it?
In any religion,
Is it?
your lordship.
Is it?
Yes, your lord.
Okay. Carry on. No, what I'm saying is when you see your argument, let's stick to legal arguments. Your argument saying that court should not step in, it is a function for the legislature, that is a legal argument. That is a possible legal argument.
Indeed.
We cannot decide this case. You may be of the view that it leads to disintegration. I may be of the view that it won't lead to disintegration. It leads to a more progressive society. So we cannot decide based on my personal view versus your personal view. We can only decide based on law. So stick to the legal points. Now, one legal argument you raised is Hindu Marriage Act. The whole act, if you look at it, the tenor of the act is that it has to be a male and a female. Second legal argument, what you said is it has to be, it is a policy decision. It is not for the courts to step in. It is a legislature. Legal argument. Like that, what is the next legal argument?
Your lordship, it is further submitted to your lordships that there exists a legitimate state interest in limiting the legal recognition of marriage to persons of opposite sex, and it is for the legislature to judge and enforce such societal morality and public acceptance based upon societal ethos of the Republic of Triplemento. Further, it is submitted that the court, if it includes LGBT community marriage as a part of either the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 or the Special Marriage Act 1954, would commit both a cardinal sin by not following the literal rule of statutory construction. Therefore, the words man, woman, bride, bridegroom, or husband and wife used in the acts should be given their ordinary meaning. Further, it is humbly submitted to your lordships that the court can analyze existing rights for this. It cannot create a new right. It is not permissible for the court to override the legislative intent with regard to limiting the legal recognition of marriage of heterosexual couples. Moreover, your lordships, any interference with the existing marriage laws would cause complete havoc with the delicate balance of personal laws in our country, your lordships. And there are chances that it can hurt religious feelings of people and subsequently lead to unfavorable outcomes, your lordships. Keeping all these points in view, your lordships, it's humbly submitted to your lordships that the Hindu Marriage Act and the Special Marriage Act should be read in its ordinary sense and cannot be read in a manner to include members from the LGBT community, your lordships.
Yeah.
Further, moving on to issue 3, your lordships. Issue is whether
you are dealing with, what is your co-counsel dealing with?
My co-counsel shall be dealing with issue 2 and 4, your lordships.
2 and 4. Okay, so 3.
Issue 3 is whether or not the customs, traditions, rites, and rituals form an exhaustive code. It is most humbly submitted to your lordships that the customs, traditions, rites, and rituals do form an exhaustive code. In this regard, it is submitted to your lordships that in our country, the Republic of Triplemento, despite statutory recognition of the relationship of marriage between a biological man and a biological woman, marriage necessarily depends upon age-old customs, rituals, practices, cultural ethos, and societal values. Custom is a habitual course of conduct observed uniformly and voluntarily by the people.
One sec, like we discussed this issue. Now, sati was a custom and at one point of time in our country, right?
Indeed.
Now, that custom today, in today's context, if we discuss sati, I don't think there'll be anybody amongst us who will say that that is a custom to be followed. Whereas at that time, I'm sure there are many people who thought that is the custom to be followed. So these customs, traditions, rites, rituals, etc., has to be interpreted. Shouldn't it be interpreted and read as the time progresses, based on the current societal norms?
Yes, indeed, yes, your lordships. But this is with regard to this issue, your lordships, I would like to submit that, your lordships, whatever like the sati and all, whatever these customs we have overcome, that was through the legislature, your lordships. Acts were enacted to abolish that, your lordships. For example, we take the Child Marriage Act, your lordships. That was enacted to eliminate this particular custom, your lordships.
Correct.
Much obliged, your lordships. Further, your lordships.
Okay, I've asked way too many questions. You finish your.
Much obliged, your lordships. It occupies an important place in regulation of human conduct and is in fact one of the oldest sources of law, your lordships. Further, custom is just non scriptum, which means an unwritten law and is evolved by people in respect of a place where it is followed. When people find any act to be beneficial and agreeable to their nature and disposition, they start practicing it from time to time, and when it is continued for a long time or for time immemorial, it obtains the force of law. Further, your lordship, the culture, customs, and traditions of the state of Riplimento do not recognize such type of same-sex marriages, your lordships. As marriage is a personal area and governed by the religious faiths, gay or lesbian marriages are generally considered unholy, your lordships. Further, living together as partners or in
again, I'm saying let's stick to law, unholy, immoral, etc. Let's leave it.
I
Let's,
apologize for that,
yeah,
your lordships.
yeah,
I'll continue with the legal aspect.
yeah, legal arguments you are doing well, but let's not get into a speech on the morality. Morality does not, we are not concerned with that, right?
Much
Same sex marriage as of today, the law of the land is two men and two women can enter into a relationship. They can, right?
Indeed,
We're
yes,
only
your
concerned
lordship.
whether they should be allowed to marry. So then there's nothing unholy and nothing immoral about it, even as per law.
Much obliged, your lordships.
Carry on.
Lordships, further, living together as partners or in a relationship with same-sex individual is not comparable with the family unit concept of husband, wife, and children, your lordship. Further, your lordship, most personal law describe marriage as a sacrament and union of souls, your lordships. This is in accordance to the Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu law, your lordship. Further, referring to the Islam, it's a contract. So whatever may be the reason, the very purpose of the marriage is considered sacrament in most of these scriptures, your lordships. Religious
You can wind up now. Wind up.
Your lordship, I would like to conclude with a statement, your lordship. In a society, family is made up of a man and a woman, and not a woman and a woman or a man and a man. If further, if same-sex couple adopt children, the child will grow up with a skewed version of family, and ultimately the society would disintegrate. With this, I conclude, your lordships. And now I request my co-counsel to start up with issue 2 and 4, your lordship.
Thank you.
It was an honor arguing before this court, your lordships.
Thank you.
May it please your lordships, I'm the counsel for the respondents. As my co-counsel has dealt with issues 1 and 3, I will be dealing with issues 2 and 4, your lordships. When it comes to issue 2, that is whether or not, your lordships,
Yes,
am I
can hear
audible?
you clearly. Yeah.
Thank you. When it comes to issue 2, that is whether or not civil rights can be granted to the members of the said community, that is transgender community. As the issue is about granting civil rights, which the said community don't have previously, the rights can only be granted by way of enacting an act by legislature, and it is exclusive domain of the legislature to grant such rights by way of legislation, your lordship. Your lordships, further, the fundamental right under Article 21 is subject to procedure established by law, and the same cannot be expanded to extend to include the fundamental right for the same-sex marriage to be recognized under the law of the country, which in fact mandate the contrary, your lordships. Your lordships, the judgment in Navtej Singh Johar case does not extend the right to privacy to include fundamental right in the nature of right to marry by two individuals of the same gender,
Counsel,
your
one
lordships.
second. One second. Now, what I'm saying is, you're right. Civil rights earlier, the same-sex couple could not have civil rights because it was illegal. It was, under the law. Now, Navtej Johar, you are right. Navtej Johar, the issue was only whether 377 is ultra vires the constitution. It did not deal with the issue of marriage, civil rights, etc. The only question is, in light of Navtej Johar, in light of the fact that 377 has been struck down, right? Isn't granting civil rights the logical next step? You're right, legislature should be doing it. If legislature is not doing it, then like I said, already said, like in Vishaka, shouldn't courts are the courts hand tied that they can't step in and lay down some guidelines granting civil rights?
Indeed, yes, your lordships, but the civil rights have already been granted to LGBTQ community, Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act 2019 was enacted for the protection of the transgender people, their welfare, and other related matters, your lordships. And
But that's
further
all,
going
sorry,
legislation.
that's only for transgenders, right? What about gay, lesbian, other people? And even that transgender, there's a Supreme Court judgment granting rights to transgenders. Then this act came. But what about the others? Why should others be excluded?
Indeed, yes, your lordships. The legislature will further move on to like it will take for some time for the legislature to make an act, your lordships. The legislature, if it feels like in the societal good, if it thinks that it is appropriate to make a legislation, it will definitely make, your lordships. But it will not be appropriate for the judiciary, because, your lordships, the society is built on a belief that the social institutions of the marriage should be like this, and everything in a society should be like this. But suddenly, if the same-sex couples civil rights are granted, then that will cause much havoc, your lordships. As my co-counsel have said, the society will get disintegrated, your lordships.
Counsel, you must have seen my reaction when she said that. That is a very strong statement to make. I mean, we are not concerned now. When 377 judgment was matter was being argued, one of the arguments for people supporting that provision was, if it is struck down, society will disintegrate. Nothing has happened. Society is functioned as without any problem even after that judgment. Isn't it the function of the now the thing is, the only point you have a point saying that courts should not step in and step into the shoes of the legislature and pass laws. To that extent I take your point, but that's a big but. Now if you say it takes some time, now we've seen in the context, in the legislature takes 5 years to pass a law allowing marriage. Now for that 5 years, shouldn't the court step in and grant some rights to the people of this community? Or just leave it to the sweet will of the legislature? You take your time, you take 10 years, for 10 years, these people will suffer again. Is that what the courts are for?
Indeed, no, your lordships. But, your lordships, the marriage as an institution is created in the Hindu Marriage Act. When we go into the past, like ancient texts like Vedas, those are the rituals which are getting continued even today, your lordships. Those are the beliefs and belief system and all. Those are continuing even today, your lordships. If today the marriage as an institution is created for 3 purposes, your lordships, in the Hindu Marriage Act, that is for dharma, praja, and rati, your lordships. In 3 of this, dharma, which is doing yagnas and yagas, is given prominent importance because, your lordships, it can only be done by male and female, that is man and woman, and it cannot be done by same-sex people. So in Hindu Marriage Act, like in Hindus, this is for the main purpose of the marriage is this, your lordships. And praja, that is progeny, the creation of children, is given second importance, and rati, that is sexual pleasure, that is given the least important, your lordships.
Where do you get all this? If I read the Hindu,
your lordship, this is written in Vedas, your lordships, that
continue.
Even today, the yagna, if you see the yagnas and yagas which are being performed in whole India, that is only performed by male and female, your lordships. Only one person cannot perform this act, your lordships, which is considered most sacred, your lordships. And one person cannot do this yagnas without other person, that is male cannot do without female, and female cannot do without male, your lordships. This is which started is because they wanted,
till the time Navtej Johar judgment was there, a male and a male, or a female and a female, correct, could not live in this, could not enter into sexual relationship because it was a criminal offense. Now today that is allowed. So whatever you are saying has to be interpreted, right? Maybe Vedas say it, I'm not saying no, but in the context of 377 judge being decriminalized, we need to have a complete relook on how we look at our rituals, right?
Indeed, no, your lordships, because the release, like even the section 7 of the Hindu Marriage Act, which prescribes marriage may be solemnized in accordance with the customary rites and ceremonies of either party, is what section 7 of the Hindu Marriage Act says, your lordships. It means that the codified act such as Hindu Marriage Act is given prominent position for the rituals which have started during the Vedas period, your lordships. So the rituals suddenly cannot be changed. Like every ritual will have different purpose, your lordships. For example, when a person is born, the ritual will be different. When a person is dead, the ritual will be different. And when two persons of different sexes will get when there is union of male and female, there is a different ritual, your lordships. We cannot change the rituals for the purpose of suddenly for another purpose, your lordships.
Carry on.
Much obliged, your lordships. Your lordships, the council further continues with issue number 4, your lordships, that is whether or not members from the said community can be allowed to be married as per the rituals of their respective religion, your lordships. Your lordships, I have already mentioned about the rituals and their importance.
In this context, let me tell you now. Ultimately, interpretation of a statute, it has to be our purposive interpretation, right? Now I see what you are saying on section 7. Section 7 says that at Saptapadi, that is what we discussed, 7 rounds, the taking of 7 steps by the bridegroom and the bride jointly before the sacred fire. So your point appears to be, that's what you said, your point appears to be that it has to be a man and a woman and not the two individuals of the same sex, right? Now, I understand if you read it, anybody who knows English, he reads it, it can read like that. According to me, that may be too literal a reading of a section. Now, if 377 was decriminalized, no court could have interpreted this in any other way because it has to be bride, bridegroom, bride, lady, bridegroom, man, etc., etc. Now, in the context of 377 having been decriminalized, why can't the court interpret? I'm just giving you one example. Why can't the court interpret the section 7 to mean that bridegroom and the bride to mean that partners?
Indeed, no, your lordships, because if the lordships may refer to definitions of like in the section 3 of Hindu Marriage Act.
Are you there? One sec. You're there. Your camera's off, I think.
Indeed, yes, your lord. Sorry, because I'm swiping.
No issue. Do that. Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Yes. Your lordships, if
yes.
Yes, your lordships. When it comes to definitions, that is
yes.
Clause 6.
No, 6 is omitted. Are you talking about in the Hindu Marriage Act?
Hindu Marriage Act, your lordship,
1955.
Yeah, section 3, your lordship.
3. One sec. Let's go to 3.
3.
Yeah.
Definitions.
Yes.
In that, when clause G.
Clause G. Okay.
Yes, indeed, yes, your lordship. Clause
yes.
G.
Correct.
Subclause 3, your lordships,
yes.
3 and 4. 4, you can find that if two are brother and sister, uncle and niece, aunt and nephew, or children of brother and sisters, or two brothers or of two sisters.
Yes.
Like we can find that there is a mention that brother and sister. It means so here there is clear.
No. I understand, but how does this advance your argument? This says a marriage between a brother and a sister is prohibited under the Hindu Marriage Act. But how does that? But
there the mention is about the gender, your lordship, male and female. That is, brother is male and sister Correct. Is female.
I'll put it in a different way against you. Now, in a degree of prohibited relationship, it doesn't say that brother, male and male and female are prohibited. Right?
Indeed, no, your lordships, because the interpretation, with the literal interpretation of that, we can your lordships, that the fact that it is not included, like brother and sister and sister is not included. It means that they don't have the legislation makers don't have in mind that brother and sister, two females and two males will in future, like in future, will get married, your lordships. They have only this thing in mind, that male and female. That's why they have mentioned brother and sisters, your lordship.
Council, like I said, when the Hindu Marriage Act was enacted in 1955, no statute could have even contemplated same-sex marriage because it was criminal under the law because of 377, right? So the whole discussion about marriage, etc., is being made now only because of the judgment in Navtej Johar. So to say that 1955 Act did not allow same-sex relationship may not hold good, because how could it have something that was illegal, something that was criminal when the statute was enacted? They could not have said that that is allowed, right? So the only question, again, we are coming to the only question is whether after Navtej Johar, Hindu Marriage Act, Special Marriage Act, etc., can be purposefully interpreted to allow same-sex marriage. That is the simple question. Carry on. You're doing good. Carry on. Yeah.
Indeed, no, your lordships. Indeed, no, your lordships, because the same-sex relationship, like the live-in relationship, is different from marriage, your lordships. These are totally different, your lordships. Giving the status of marriage will lead to some other problems, like your lordships. They can like the main purpose of the marriage is procreation, that is to run the for the human race to go forward, your lordships. The main purpose is that for the marriage, your lordships. Maybe that might be given less importance in some religions and more importance in Hindu religion, but most of the times the intention will be somewhere, like even in future, that the progeny should happen, like the procreation of children should happen. But if this relationship, like the like homosexual relationship, if it is given a marital status, your lordships, that will not promote human race, your lordships.
Okay, carry on.
Indeed, yes, your lordships. Your lordships, it is humbly submitted that the jurisprudence of any nation, be it by way of codified law or otherwise, evolves based on the societal values, beliefs, cultural history, and other factors, your lordships. In case of issues concerning personal relationships like marriage, divorce, adoption, maintenance, etc., either the codified law or the personal law occupies the field. It said, suggesting that laws are enacted by the legislature's wisdom in a manner concomitant with the societal values and national acceptability, your lordship. Your lordship, seeking a declaration recognizing the same-sex marriages has more legal ramifications than simple legal recognition. It would also be in violation of existing codified laws and personal law. Same-sex would not fit the legislative scheme, which clearly talks about the biological woman who is wife and a man who is husband. Any interference with the same would cause a complete havoc with the delicate balance of the personal laws in the country, your lordship. With this, the council ends her arguments, your lordship.
Thank you.
The council seeks the permission to proceed with the prayer, your lordships.
Prayer is okay. I know the prayer. No problem. Okay, thank you.
Much obliged, your lordship.
Now what is left? Rebuttal, something is there?
Yes, sir, rebuttal.
I would like to talk about few topics which my esteemed respondents focused upon. Basically, they told that transgender are given some certain sort of rights and then there will be some time after when the other people of the community may get the rights. So if already a particular person of that community is privileged to get few rights, why not each and every person of that community get the rights? This is and just postponing it, the legislature keeps postponing it, but the court 2018 when Navdeep Singh was decriminalized, I still remember there were Durga Puja and a lot of places where same-sex couples were invited and asked to do the ceremonies in like to respect that. Society has two parts and society will always have two parts. The law cannot be uh, biased just because the society will not accept it. Everyone is equal in front of law. The law is not equal for every, law does not bend for anyone, right? So this society barrier thing is not relevant according to the petitioner sides.
Fair enough. Anything else?
And she also mentioned about like marriage is only because of procreation. I beg to differ on that. Some people only like to marry to celebrate their love or to show the people that they are with each other and they want to be with each other and celebrate that thing. So the procreation part is not the only. Sorry, and my time's up. Thank you so
That's
much.
okay. Time. You have anything more to say? You can say. You have anything
No,
more to
sir,
say?
I basically covered everything. So
Okay.
even the disintegrating of the society, but you merely covered every point of it. That is a very bold statement to give, and that's not appropriate. But you covered it very well. So that's
Fair enough.
not the issue.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Anybody else? Is there anything else now? Is there a rebuttal, something like that? I don't know.
Yes, sir, sorry, but
Okay, who's doing? Okay, okay. Yeah, start.
Your Lordships, I would like to point out to what my petitioners council have told, that marriage is created for Your Lordships, about the procreation part, whatever she said about the procreation part, Your Lordships. Your Lordships, at first, even like when the marriage as a concept has started, it started to create the rights, to create the duties, and to oblige each other towards each other's rights and duties, Your Lordships. And marriage is created mainly for the purpose of continuation of human race, Your Lordships. This no one will deny, because the child born out of that relation will be more safe and secure. That is the reason that marriage as an institution has started, Your Lordships. So my petitioners council saying that marriage, in most of the cases, the purpose will be the procreation, Your Lordships.
Anyway,
Like it may not be today,
yeah.
but in future it will be this.
Yeah, don't press it beyond a point. That is not your best point. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of doubt whether procreation is the sole purpose of marriage, etc. Let's leave it for another day. Now get your next point.
That's it, Your Lordships.
Okay. Done?
So you may give the feedback if you like
Anything
to the participants.
else? You guys were good. Yeah. By and large, you guys were good. To the, a couple of things, small things, but then, we go for major competitions and all that. This will petitioners, slightly, in your addressing style, etc. Be slightly more formal. It is not for me or for this thing, but if you go for a JESUP or any other competition, these things will matter. Yeah. So I'll tell you a couple of. Throughout, you say and one of you said both thing is key. That's really not a style of argument to in a moot court. Not a big deal, but I'm just telling you small things. Unless somebody tells you, it may skip your mind. Sometimes it becomes very, especially in a virtual mood. If you're going for a physical mood, the whole aura around it, standing there, etc. You may be more formal, but sitting in your house, you tend to get slightly more informal. Now, for some more time, I'm sure all competition is going to be virtual only. So it's better to get trained yourself sitting at your home how to be formal. Then research can be a little bit more. I saw petitioners this thing. There are three authorities: Maneka Gandhi, Navtej Johar, and one more. There are Puttaswamy. Research can be a little bit slightly more better. The respondents, the arguments, again, like I already told you while asking questions, it's always in a matter like this, it is always better to stick to the legal points, right? Than rhetoric, we can have rhetoric is always in any advocacy, rhetoric, we can't do without rhetoric, but rhetoric supported by legal arguments. That will work. Only rhetoric sans legal arguments, and you guys had legal arguments. So when you have good legal arguments, in terms of priority, focus on legal arguments first, and rhetoric just for the advocacy. Otherwise, by and large, now can I ask you which year are you guys, all of you?
So we are first year students. We haven't even completed 2 months of our law college.
Okay, and
We are 50 years, your lordships.
Okay.
Your lordship. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry for the inconvenience or any informality caused. We
No,
are
no, no,
merely
no.
learning.
I don't have any inconvenience. I'm just telling you first years, and I'm happy I told you, because you guys are first years. Then it's it's important that you. It's very good. You guys have
Your guidance means a lot, sir.
done. You guys have done very well. Very well. It was a really pleasure. And okay. Thank you very much. All the best. Whatever happens in this, is irrespective. When you guys have you give enough opportunities to this thing, you guys do very well. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. No problem.
Participants.
So now what? I just mark it. That's all.
Yes, sir. Enter into the.
I'll do it in the Google Doc, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Are we to leave?
Yes. Yes. Kindly leave. Thank you.
So much.
Have fun. All the best.